Welcome to our next episode of the How We Make It in New York podcast. I'm Lauren Pepin.
Hi, everybody, and I'm Michael Pepin, Lauren's husband.
Yes, my other half. And we're really excited to be here for our next episode. And there's been a lot going on. It's spring now in New York, and the weather's kind of starting to turn. So I feel like there's many opportunities in the air. What do you think, Michael?
Absolutely. Spring is like the best time to jumpstart your PR, getting out there, making sure that people know who you are, and also, doing a little house cleaning in many more ways than one.
Yeah, spring cleaning is definitely on my to-do list. And so yeah, I mean for me, at least the spring market has been very busy. I mean, have you ever seen me at home not being
Wow.
frantic? I have like a lot going on. The entertainment industry is totally, I mean, the world's unraveling, but the entertainment industry is like kind of on the fritz, but here and there there's like something interesting. There are some good shows to watch that were shot probably like 2 years ago. But what about you? What's going on in the legal world?
Well, the legal world is very busy too. Markets have been tumultuous. People have been changing jobs. Fortunately, a lot of my clients have been laid off, and I'm helping them resolve certain disputes with their employers. I have other commercial litigations going on too. Listen, people have problems. They have legal problems, and they need to get them resolved, and I'm happy to help them.
Great, yeah. So, but I think, on the positive note, whenever there's like a downward part of the market or things get really crazy, there's a lot of opportunity. And we know a lot of business owners, we know a lot of people that are really savvy. And I think a lot of them are trying to like kind of wait for a crash or wait for things to get crazy. And then they like either start something new, buy things up. So, you know what? With every negative, there's a positive, right?
That's right. Absolutely. You got to keep moving. Just
Yeah.
keep doing something. Take action.
And actually that brings me to who our next guest is going to be. We have a really, really exciting entrepreneur. Her name is Liana Zavo. I met her at an event that I actually hosted at the New York Junior League last year. She's a PR, marketing, branding expert. She's like the new Tony Robbins. Like I love her, and she has like events. She's doing a million things just like me and you. So I'm really excited to interview her and hear what she has to say. And I know you met her too. We had this. It's so funny. We went to one of her events. I was the moderator, and it was at the place we had our wedding. How cute is that?
Yeah, I know. It's such a small world, and I'm really excited to hear what she has to say. I'm sure she has a tremendous insight into the PR world and all sorts of marketing. And yeah, I'm super excited. So why don't we go into it?
Yep, let's go.
All right.
So here we are with our next guest, Liana Zavo from Zavo PR. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
Well,
you,
thank you so
Liana. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah, so let's jump like right in. And I'll just like tell our listeners, I mentioned at the beginning, I met you at an event that I had hosted, and you came in with like the most amazing energy. I was like, I need to work with Liana. Like, and now we've like done some events together. It's been like incredible. But tell our listeners like a little bit about your background, how you got started in business, and how did that prepare you for having your own firm?
Wow. Thank you, Lauren. It's been a whirlwind, a roller coaster to say the least. And I've always aspired to be like my father. He's a businessman. He owns over 20 restaurants. He's been in business since 87 and the year I was born. And he always said, the year you were born, you gave me a lot of luck. So, and I carry a name. Liana actually means so much. Like, I think there's a lot that also comes from your name. And in Hebrew, it means God has answered. I feel like just so much in my life just brings me to where I am today. Like I know that I'm destined to impact my audience. I'm destined to just bring so much, I guess, wealth of knowledge and be that impact leader. And so how I started was really not a traditional route. I am a college dropout. I was an amazing student in high school, but life just turned around and in ways that I didn't expect. I got married at 18, had my son at 19, and then I decided to get divorced at 20 and a half. So that was a time when I said to myself, well, I'm not going to be shut down and not express myself. I am a woman and need to lead my way. I'm a leader by nature. And I think that anyone who's a leader by nature and feels that they're being shut down, a piece of them dies. So that relationship didn't work out. And I decided to end it, take my son, and start all over again. So I In the meantime, I was going to college. I have my speech pathology. I was going through speech pathology journey, even though my grandmother was a journalist. So my grandma was a journalist in Russia, traveling the world, and I aspired to be like that, like her. And I was swayed from my dreams by my mom. She says, you know what, I've never seen my mom really as much home as I wanted her to be home, and I stay with my father. So why don't you sway from journalism and communications, do something that's more secured? So I listened to her and I did something super boring, at least it was for me. So I just really tried to do so many things. I dropped out. I said, you know what, I rather do something that my heart desires, because at the end of the day, I chose something that wasn't fun. I got divorced, and that was a really devastating time for me. And so I decided that I'm going to live my life on my own terms, right? I'm not going to just do what seems to be secure. So I did a lot. Lauren, I started my concierge company, my styling concierge company at 23. And then at 25, I had my autoimmune disease. I got really burnt out, and I love storytelling. So by what you wore, right? People stand out by what they wear, and their authority is by how you present yourself, right? It's been statistically proven. You gain more confidence by what you wear. You have more success rate at gaining more opportunities when you present yourself with confidence by what you wear. And so I love telling stories by your clothing. And I then met this woman. Actually recognized me from my energy. Like, you see my energy. She
Yeah.
saw how I made others feel when I dressed them for galas and charities and events, and says, you know what, I will love to work with you. If you can make my clients feel like this, the way you make them feel when they get dressed with my skincare line, you're hired. And obviously, she hired me. I became her media visionary consultant, and the rest was history. She introduced me to her PR agency. I gave him an ultimatum. I said, "Look, I will work with you because I was her consultant for a year and a half. I need to learn everything. I'll bring you all the clients I have." And the first client I brought on was my family's restaurant, Zavo, which was on the Upper East Side.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we shut down during COVID, but that was the very first restaurant. It was a win-win, and I think that's how I fostered a relationship, because I understood the power of leverage. There's so much power when you can bring that leverage to whoever you're trying to foster a relationship with. And so that's what I did. And I don't have the college degree, but I do have my soft skills. And a
Mhm.
lot of people lack soft skills. And so I'm proud to say that I have that. And because of it, I'm so successful. And because of it, I'm driven. And I decided to pursue my PR abilities and expertise. And now I'm in 12 countries.
It's amazing. I love that backstory. So
Thank you.
now you're here, you have your company, Zavo PR, right? So tell us, what types of clients and services does Zavo PR provide?
Yeah, so ZavoMedia PR Group, we help our clients for develop these strategic relationships. So it's a vast different types of services. It's either thought leadership we help you with, online reputation management. We help you with strategic partnerships. Say that you want to meet someone in a different country, and you need to find that relationship. Then I will bring you to that person, whoever you want to strategically partner up with. Because I'm in 12 countries, I have that upper hand. And so it's who you know, right? Who is your network? And we help with your online presence, right? Your online presence speaks. So 82% of people will Google you before setting foot in your location, even giving you a call or even signing a contract. So, Michael, that in itself is a huge statistic. And so if you think about it, what I help with and my team does, we help you with your online presence. When people Google you, you have that trust factor, because
Hmm.
PR is not marketing and it's not advertising. PR is that trust factor that you create with third party, right? A third party that validates your story. We have to fact check your story, and that's how you create a very strong online reputation. And that's exactly what I help my clients with. When you Google your name, what shows up? When is the last
Hmm.
time you Googled yourself? So for me, it's important to create leaders into thought leaders, to create strategic partnerships, give you a platform to speak. I mean, executive speaking is key. How do you position yourself as a
Hmm.
thought leader? It's all about the positioning. I mean, you can be a great leader, but are you being positioned the right way? So I help position you as a thought leader and as an authority in your industry.
So interesting, so great. So I have to ask, since I'm an attorney, do you have any lawyer clients that you help?
I, I do
Because we're all
indeed.
about reputation.
Yes, I have a lot of them actually. And so one of them I can give a shout out to is Benny Gold from Lawyer Stories. You know, he has his own podcast as well. And so he's amazing. And, you know, there's Ruben Davidoff. There's so many. But yes, I love to represent attorneys. I feel that
Mhm.
attorneys are very risk adverse.
Yep.
You guys do not like to step out of your comfort zone. Telling your stories is like I don't know, it's like killing you somehow. I feel like every time I tell you, unleash that story, find a way to connect with your audience on an emotional way, in an emotional way, right? Because you can't just say, you know, yes, these are the services I provide, and this is what you need to find a way you can connect with your audience through a personal brand, right? Your personal professional
Okay.
brand, it speaks for itself. And so if you don't have that, you're just another number. You don't stand out from
Mhm.
your crowded marketplace. So how do you stand out? By creating a very strong personal brand.
That's amazing. So I think you gave us a glimpse into my next question and your likely answer. But so, what would you say that you bring to the table that other PR firms just don't?
I am the table.
All right.
I bring a lot. So first of all, even though I'm in 12 countries, I behave like a boutique firm. I hold your hand. You're not just another number. I make sure that I take strategy calls every week with you. I get on calls with you. I make sure that we go through everything hands on, right? So for me, it's important that I advocate on behalf of you. You're not just another number. I make sure that if you're with me, and you're my client, I have to connect you with others. And you know, it's not like waiting on something to happen. I always find the next thing possible to expand you, because I'm so ambitious, because I'm always a student of life, and because I think that, you know, I think as a millennial I have that upper hand, that I am just, you know, living the American dream as an immigrant, right? I think that living an American dream for me is everything. I made it here as an immigrant. I came to the States when I was 9 years old, and there is no way for me to stop, you know, pursuing what I love and uplifting others who work with me. So your reputation is my reputation. And so I have to hold your hand, make sure that you speak volumes about me, because at the end of the day, what really works is, what do you have to say about my experience with you, right? This is an experience. You're working with a publicist and you have to have an experience. It's not just like a cookie cut away. So I have to tailor each, I guess, my experience to each individual separately.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like so inspiring and so much motivation. And I know you're really into motivational speakers. So who do you have like one favorite, and like is there any like advice or mantra? I mean, I know you jump on the trampoline too. You could talk about that. But who do you like love and feel like their advice just like speaks to your soul?
You know, when I got divorced, I listened a lot to Les Brown,
Hmm.
also Jim Rohn. And when Les Brown, you know, when he spoke and from his disability and how he came about, that in itself sparked something inside of me. And I said, if he can do it as someone who had a disability, and if he believed in himself, it's all about the belief. And, you know, my book that I written in 2020, it stems from that. It's 80% is belief and your mindset, and then 20% is actually putting it into practice. And so my book, Be Epic, which is a one-word acronym, stands from that belief of actually telling your story, which is going to make an impact. And how are you going to change people around you, right, with your story? So the other person that really, you know, propelled me forward is Tony Robbins. I have to give
Hmm.
him a lot of credit. You know, his whole thing is unleash the power within, and mine is unleash the story within, right? My summit is unleash the story. My podcast is as well unleash the story within. So it's all about, whenever I attend seminars, I have to attend and also grab something from them. And I have to be honest with you. When I went to Tony Robbins event, my client dragged me. She's like, you have to come to this Tony Robbins event. I'm like, you know what? I always listen to him. Like, it's really nothing special. But when I was there in person, I mean, come on, walking on fire, a trampoline. And there's a lot that I also got from him. But there's one thing that you can be inspired, and then the other thing is executing, right? So I executed and actually was jumping the trampoline, right, as you saw. So not a
Yeah.
lot of people can do that because they were afraid of judgment or what others will think about them. And I said, you know what, I don't care to be judged. This is my brand, and I'm going. And they call me the female version of Tony Robbins, so I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Wait, are you as tall as Tony Robbins?
Oh God. Yes, actually,
And definitely
I
not a
think you are
giant.
because You have fabulous shoe collection. I saw these shoes. So like
Oh,
almost.
thank
No,
you.
no, no.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, that's amazing. I like love that energy. And like when I was at your event, it like totally just like jumped off the page. Like it just like jumped off, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, no, that's great. And I just think like one thing that you just said also really rings true for me is that like people can like you can listen to like 800 motivational speakers and podcasts. You could listen to every single thing and take it all in as like a passive listener, but execution, like do people actually do what they're going to say? And like I think that's one really special thing about being in New York is there are people who like think of an idea and then they do it. And like they
Yeah.
actually like fully execute it. And that's what like one thing I'm like pretty proud of like myself, Michael. Like we said we want to do this podcast and we had this idea and like now here we are like a couple months later and we're actually doing it. We have everything booked and I know you could like you do that too, and I'm sure you also like push that into your clients, like when they come to you and they want publicity, they want marketing, and then you're like, well, we're gonna do it. We're gonna like go here. You're gonna speak here. You're gonna do that, and so that's like a really big thing.
Yeah, and that like segues into another question that we have for you because we all have our clients, we have the clients we love, we have the clients unfortunately we don't really love that much. So tell us
Learn to love.
like give us an example, like tell us who your easiest client is, not by name, but just in general, and like the hardest client you have to work with. So kind of like two sides of the coin there.
So the easiest client would say, you know what, I'm gonna just go with the flow. You tell me what to do, and I will accept it. And I love those clients because they know I'm the professional, and what I say, should kind of go because I know the media landscape better than someone that is coming to me to seek for my advice. So the on the flip side, the one that actually is very needy, it's like, um, it's not enough for me. Let's get another call. I'm worried, like okay, being worried to be on TV. So I media train them, and then my team media trains them, and then they're still afraid to go speak on TV. Like we went over, say, 15 sessions of media training, and then when it comes to actually facing the journalist and speaking on TV, and the anchor comes on, they just like frozen. And so,
Mm.
those are the clients that are harder to work with because it's also the mindset. And I work with them on the mindset, even though I'm not a psychologist but I try as much as I can. But there's only so much I can do for you to overcome that hurdle of, oh, I'm afraid to get on, to be on TV, or this is oh my God, like I'll be stuck and frozen. So I would say that telling your story it's also psychological. You have to be ready to speak as an expert, to really hone in on your expertise and have others like listen to others feedback. I think that's important as well. And so not a lot of my clients, they feel safe, right? They feel like, you know what, that's not my safe space. But then again, I have to bring them out of it. So there's a lot. As a publicist, I do a lot. For me, it's important. Not only do I help them with media training and fixing up their profile and making sure their thought leadership is on point, but I have to psychologically prepare them and say, listen, read my book. It's going to help you. It's a one-word acronym, and it's going to help you propel you forward mentally. So, there's a lot of things you have to do. And I take pride in it. I'm not just a one-sided publicist. I'm very well-rounded. I make sure that when you're in my hands, we're going to work hand in hand together. And I make sure to get you from that hurdle. It's a lot of more work for me, right? It's a
Mhm.
lot more, but I over deliver. That's something that I don't charge for. Like the psychological part to get
Yeah.
you over that hurdle. Obviously, it's something that I do not tell you, hey, you don't have what it takes. Why don't you just hire a coach? I tell you, okay, you know what? Let's work together. Let's find other ways to bring you into the limelight and deliver your message and convey it in a positive way.
Right, and
Yeah.
that probably makes you better at what you do by taking on all of those roles.
Yeah,
Mhm.
not easy, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, like in the age of like, okay, we're in 2025 now. Like, what do you, I mean, everyone's trying to market everything. Like, you can't even like wake up without being marketed to, or feel like people are pushing something in front of you. So, like, what do you think that people, especially business owners, should know about PR and marketing? Like, obviously, it's essential if you have any type of business, but what do you feel like people are sometimes really missing and that people should know?
Yeah, great question. So it's information overload. There's so much being thrown at you. Absolutely. It's really hard digested. And a lot of them are self-proclaimed like experts. I know what I'm doing. I'm the best at this. You really have to vet them, who you're dealing with, Google their name, see what shows up, see their credibility. And I think at the end of the day, you have to understand about PR, that PR is an underdog. A lot of people talk about marketing and advertising, but think about it. When it comes to thought leadership, and I only represent thought leaders and founders, the face behind the brand, at the end of the day, if you're just going to say, well, I'm going to do it myself, it's going to take a lot of time. You need to delegate. If you're really serious about investing into your personal brand, delegate. PR is not expensive. It's actually more expensive if you spend time yourself because you don't have the right strategy. So you have to have the right strategies to implement into your personal brand so that you can get the ball rolling. Second thing is video content is huge. A lot of a lot of people, a lot of thought leaders think that they'll just post and
Mm.
they'll describe their post, but there's no video content. There's no emotional connection that you're building. So you must have emotional connection. People need to feel you, hear you, see you. And so that's another thing. 89% of founders are aligned with brands values when it comes to video content, right? So if you want people to connect with you, with your brand, you need to do videos. The other thing I would say is if you are just starting out, then as a thought leader, definitely look into personal branding. And I do
Mm.
both, right? A lot of publicists don't do personal branding. I do both because I know that without a personal brand, you can't really do PR, right? Because you need to have a very strong personal brand in order to mention and have an exclusive interviews in publications. So what really works hand in hand is having that trust factor and then using marketing and advertising, but the trust factor comes from PR. So we're having all this information thrown at you. I think, Lauren, the best thing to do is do your homework, find out who's who. There's so many things that they are the experts, but really what sets you apart is Googling them and see where they've been featured and are they really preaching what they're saying.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And this is a loaded question, and I know you'll have a lot of thoughts on this, but what do you think the future of is? And I know it's probably something with AI in there because that's like we're like at the infancy of AI, but going 2025, the next 5 to 10 years, we have all of these incredible tools. And if you can use them correctly and you can use them the right way, I think they can be really powerful and really help your business and efficiency. But what do you think about all of that and what the future holds?
It's exciting. It's so exciting what the future holds with AI because, first of all, for me at least, it's so much easier now to work in my business because there's so many other options of, well, first of all, creating when I don't have time to go on video and speak, I have I create an avatar and then I just feed
Oh.
it information and it's just going to mimic me and speak. Is it the same as me? No, it's not, but it's fun as well. It's interesting. People like to see something different. So I'll play with that. I
Mhm.
want to play with the different techniques that's out there and AI strategies that can be implemented into my business. I need to go with the trend, right? And I'm always learning. Like Mark Cuban says, if you do not know AI
Mm.
and if you're not invested, like learn every day what you can do with AI because you're going to fall off the grid. And so a lot of automation tools that you need to use has to do with AI. And AI has been around for a while, but now, it's something it's an innovation that cannot be ignored, right? So make sure that you learn about it, make sure that you play with it, right? Make it fun. Don't make it like a chore. Oh, I need to learn another thing. Like I don't have enough social media already to
Mm.
expose my, expertise on. But it's all about how can I, bring more value as a thought leader? How can I make an impact? And there are downsides to AI as well. They can mimic your voice and you can have
Mm.
someone, perhaps taking on your personal brand. But at the end of the day, you know what sounds real, what doesn't sound real. So I think that what you're doing is great with podcasting. There's so many things that you can implement with podcasting as well when it comes to AI. So I think that everything is here for a reason and we need to grow. There's a lot of growth in it. And so what I feel my clients don't do enough is their own research every day, right? You're not spending enough time dedicating to learning what's out there. You're depending on someone else to teach it to you, and that can break you in the future because how many people can you actually hire to teach you about AI? So do yourself, the due diligence and start learning about AI and what it can do for you. I've hired a lot of AI salespeople now that
Hmm.
they vet everyone for me. And so I used to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on sales reps. Now AI does it for me. So when there's
Wow.
incoming LinkedIn leads, I have AI vet them, make the calls, and do that. I mean, unfortunately, yes, I had to take out a few people that used to work for me because I feel like AI does do a better job. It's more hands-on, and I don't need
Yeah.
to tell them what to do. It's not like, what did you call them? What was the response? Everything is right there laid out in front of me. Like, this is who we call, this is their response, and they would like to do a follow-up. So it's easier, but I have to say that obviously salespeople will definitely still be needed because who's going to overlook that, right? Who's going to overlook
Right.
AI? So AI is great for like prompts and they do the work, but someone still from the sales department needs to look over that and say, you know what, they did a good job or not, because I'm not going to speak to AI, right? I need to
Right.
human to human
Right.
experience. That's one thing that you cannot take away. So we need that human to human experience.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Some people were saying that like, oh, the broker is going to be like replaced by AI, and like there's some parts of the brokerage industry that I think, frankly, could be replaced. But with at home, that's like the most emotional, at least what I do, most emotional thing, and with what Michael does. But there has to be a human element because at the end of the day, we don't want to like totally be run by robots. We just want to like have maybe like a robot to help us out a little bit, like prompt things along.
Right? I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
why, but I have this vision when I walk into a new home and I want to see it for the first time. I have a robot that kind of rolls
yeah.
up with like cookies. Hey, we
Like, I
just
got
made,
this.
you know what they say when you bake cookies inside a house and that smell of it's like you feel like home. They do that on
Yeah,
purpose, right? It's
yeah.
a
I
technique,
need
right?
I need to either bring some cookies tomorrow to something, or I need to like get a cookie spray or something. Maybe no, no, I
Right?
don't know.
Or just bake a
Yeah,
cookie and be like, hey,
yeah, that's a good
so
idea.
yeah, so I feel that just good. And I think overall AI is great. It's definitely going to help us. Innovation is amazing with it, and it's what you make out of it, really.
Yeah, we really have to embrace, and I think especially in business, the businesses that survive, like when you look at the ones that have been around forever, they're always adapting, right? They're adapting to the next thing. They're able to like take it on. Like there's consistency and of course, the biggest thing is authenticity, of course, huge, but they're always able to adapt. And that actually reminds me. So you do so many events. I was like
Yeah.
lucky enough to moderate them. And they're like the incredible branding PR summits. Tell us like a little bit about that. Like, can you share some information, maybe when your next one is going to be, and share with our listeners?
Yeah, you know what? Having you part of these summits has been just so refreshing. I just love your energy as well.
Thank you.
We met through a mutual friend, and I just see how you have so much potential, and you do so much as well as a real estate salesperson and agent. I feel that adding you to these events really, a lot of people speak about it. Oh, who is that? Who are you working with? She's so amazing. And so I think it's very important to bring on people who have the same energy. And why I created these events is because I wanted to, again, bring that human to human experience. If I don't do these events, people won't know what I bring to the table, right? So I did it also for my own personal brand. I'm always thinking, Lauren, how can I evolve in my personal brand? How can I make an impact? Because I can't stay boring, right? If I'm going to be boring, then I'm not going to resonate with a lot of founders, right? They need to see buzz, because what is PR about? It's the buzz, right? It's the branding. So if I don't live it and breathe it, then I'm just going to be just like someone else, and I'm not going to be remembered. I want to
Mm.
be remembered, right? Like, oh, did you see that trampoline? Oh, did you see her walking in? Did you see her pink suit?
The
She
pink,
always
I was
has
gonna
this,
say the
right?
pink.
The pink suit, the pink is my color. And so I had to think about all these things. And mind you, I've only been doing these events for the past year and a half. And so I knew that something was missing. Yes, I went global. Yes, I did so many things. And I had the restaurant that I work, my family's restaurant that I did a podcast out of. Zavo restaurant on the Upper East Side, but that ended because I started going global, and now I started rebranding myself with my different podcast. And so I'm always looking not to be afraid to reinvent myself, to start again, right? Don't be afraid to say, okay, well, that didn't really work. It's fine to fail. That shows your authenticity. It's fine to fail. What else can I do? How else can I bring my message to the masses? Because think about it, how many people do what I do, right? How many people are publicists? But I don't know too many that have events, right, at PR and branding events in New York City. I really don't know too many. If you know of anyone who also does these
Off the top
events,
of my head.
please, I would love to hear about them. I want to find a way to collaborate. There's no competition. I feel like there's always room for
Yeah,
collaboration. And so why I do this is because I want to bring value to the audience. I want people to learn from each other. Networking is key. I know that women, we tend to cater to our families. We don't have time to network. We have to just, just it's just life. Men, statistically proven, men tend to network more and are out there more, and they're doing more things. So I want to bring women more. I want to be that women, advocate for women. And so I think it's important to bring them on board and make them also, find a way to network together. So networking is key for me. So there's just so
absolutely.
many moving pieces about this event. I just love the location too. It's a 3 West Club. I
Mhm.
mean, overlooking the cathedral, the Fifth Avenue. I mean, you can't go wrong with that location. So there's just so much, and I can't not take advantage of it. I'm like, look, I'm here. I'm in New York City on Fifth Avenue. How can I bring everyone together so they can foster these relationships and so they can learn more about me and then the panelists I have on and you as a moderator. Now I have to think who I'm going to hire for
Yeah.
my next one in July
Oh
because you're.
yeah, I'll just be gone for just a month
Wait,
out of the city
wait.
for lunch.
Maybe I can be a stagehand.
Oh
Oh, would
yeah,
you?
yeah, maybe you can.
Would you take over, Michael? Would you do it? I would love for you to come.
Or maybe I
Sure,
can make an
absolutely,
avatar of
absolutely.
myself.
I'd be happy to help.
Okay, well, this
Yeah,
is like
that's great.
and it's so funny. We said at the beginning of the podcast before we had you on, that's actually where we got married. It's so
Yeah.
crazy at the Three West Club. So we had our
So
wedding there. Our cocktail hour was overlooking. But Michael has the question. This is like the pivotal thing of every episode. So Michael, take it away.
Yeah, so the title of our podcast is How We Make It in New York. So for anyone listening who wants to be a publicist or even somebody who wants to own their own business or work with entrepreneurs, so from your experience, what would be one piece of advice that you'd like to share with would-be publicists or entrepreneurs about how to make it in New York?
Oh wow, how do you make it? They say if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, right? So making it in New York for me is all about showing up. I don't care how I feel. I'm gonna put on my best clothes, put on my lipstick, put on those heels, and I'm gonna go and meet people. Really, I will never say, you know what, today is not the day. It, always there has to be a way to meet people either for lunch. For me, it's all about my network, right? Who is in my network? So in order for me to get to where I am today, it was always about, well, who can you introduce me to? Well, how can we foster this relationship? How can I bring more value to you? So it's always about asking and receiving, right? If you don't ask, you don't receive. And so I would say that as a publicist, if you aspire to be a publicist, it's all about who you know. Like I said, I became a publicist, not the traditional route, but it's in my DNA. My grandma was a journalist. I feel like storytelling, inspiring audiences, uplifting personalities is in my DNA. But I don't have that communications degree. But what at the end of
Eh,
the day, it's all about showing up. It's all about not making excuses for yourself and finding those people that fostering relationships, building relationships. I think everything is like instant gratification, right? In New York, especially, it's like, okay, well, if you don't bring this to the table, then I don't think I'm going to do business with you. For me, it's more like, okay, how can I build my relationship with you so that we can reach to the next level? Because they know what I bring to the table and I do know what they bring to the table, but I'm not going to ask them what I want right away because I want them to trust me. I want them to see what I bring to the table. And then we foster this relationship. And then I ask them, would you like to be on my podcast? Would you like to? So we need to find a way to build. I think it's important not to look for an instant gratification, but build your relationship together.
Absolutely, 100%. I agree with all that. And, showing up, like I know for me, especially when I started in real estate, sometimes just showing up meant I got the listing, I got the client, I did the deal. You just never know. So, and especially in New York City, just showing up is like kind of sometimes half the battle. So amazing. So okay, so I know you've got events, you have a podcast, you have a book, you have an Instagram, to tell our listeners, and all this will be in the show notes, where they can find all of the things that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go on Amazon and get my book, the Be Epic book. And then also I have a journal and a guide, which is a personal brand guide and journal, which is actually gives you all the strategies how to start a personal brand. I think that in itself will help you. Journal, for me, journaling is everything. It's so important. The other is, follow me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is king, right? It's where professionals develop relationships. You commenting each other's posts. Like, it's important to follow me, I'll follow you back. And then the next thing would be, my Instagram page, ZavoMedia PR, my company's page. I think that in itself, make an appointment. I think scheduling an appointment if you really want to find out the strategies to be implemented in your personal brand. I can give you a quick audit. My team can give you a quick audit so that we can help you propel you forward, right? At 30 minutes to 45 minutes, we can actually help navigate what we see, your positive image, how we can change that for you, right? How to make it better. So it's complimentary, this consultation. So we'll love to hear from you guys.
Amazing, amazing. Liana, this was so incredible. In like 30 minutes, you shared so much valuable information, so much inspiring information. And I really hope that, we continue to collaborate in the future. I know we definitely will. Michael, do you have any like final remaining questions?
Well,
Thoughts?
I just thought it was very inspiring, and I'm so glad that I'll be able to work as a stagehand at your next event. So please let me know. I'll send you my resume.
Yeah, I think he just wants to really jump on the trampoline. I think that's
I
really,
so do.
you
I
didn't get
so
a
do.
chance.
It's, I don't need coffee. I just need that.
Yeah,
Absolutely, you're hired. I don't need to see your resume. I think resumes are BS. As long as you have
they are.
what it takes, your soft skills, you're hired. But I want to also say thank you so much for having me. It
Absolutely.
truly is
Our
wonderful to have
pleasure.
you guys. And I don't see too many couples do this. So it's
Yeah.
amazing that you guys are just, making this, you're inspiring so many. You have definitely inspired me. So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And we will see you soon. Thanks,
Thank you.
Liana.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.